You know what's really interesting to me is that the most honest people seem to be accused of being liars, including myself, but not just me. And I want to know why that is, but when I think about it, it's because society is kind of built on lies. And, there's a societal way to behave that kind of seems to, I don't know, people always say what others want to hear and what they think they should say, and there's always this running script and nobody realizes it because they're just doing it, whereas autistic people need to think about the script because we don't really communicate in human language otherwise. So part of it is because it seems unnatural. We say the script just a little bit, it seems a little bit like planned out. So, I mean, a lot of neurodiverse people kind of think beyond language and into like patterns. And so when they say script, it's kind of like, hmm, you know, that's weird how they're saying it. It seems weird how they're saying things because they seem a little bit kind of enacted, but they're real. What we're saying is real. It's just doesn't seem real because it's like we're so blatantly honest about what we're trying to say, and we're saying it in this way that seems a little bit melodramatically acted because we have to say it in that way to get it out, and it's the ultimate frame. But ultimately too, people that are just super honest, I mean, they're met with contempt, because it's almost like society doesn't really want people to be that honest and forthright. So, some of the most honest people are accused of lying. A lot of them are on the autism spectrum, and they're totally confused with people who are manipulators. People who are on the other side of the spectrum, which is called the sociopathic spectrum, who sort of calculate and act and charm for the purpose of manipulation to hurt and possess and, you know, manipulate. Autistic people don't enact what they're saying for those same reasons. They do it to cope, they do it to be able to speak to you. And when they do it, they're very, very honest. So it seems almost like a double whammy of they're saying things in this funny kind of way. It seems a little bit like scripted or TV acted. But, it seems like they have an agenda, but their agenda is really to try and communicate what they're saying in human language. That's really what the agenda is. It's always my agenda to just communicate what I'm trying to say in human language, and I don't always get it all out. I get more of it out when I'm writing. That's why I write books. And they're deep and objective, and you can tell there's a discrepancy between the way I talk and the way I write. And really what language I think I'm closest to is like songs and poetry, like da 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 da, like cadence and rhyme, and I'm very like artistically autistic or whatever, creative with my patterns, and so that really is kind of the easiest way. It's easier than even writing for me. Anyway, point is that neurodiverse people are some of the most honest and forthright people, but we're always seen with skepticism because people just don't know what to make of us, and we've learned how to cope, so we're very subtle in our differences. So it's just like we're seen as this threat because we're different. And it seems like we have an agenda. We don't have a malicious or sinister agenda. We just have an agenda to communicate with you. And we work very hard to do it. So it's really, really painful for us when we are met with this kind of contempt and skepticism. The most honest people, a lot of them being autistic or ADD or highly creative or highly sensitive, are often seen and treated this way, and it's too bad. People need to rethink and keep an open mind when they encounter eccentricity. Fortunately, there are the narcissists out there, there are the sociopaths, and they've wrecked it for the rest of us who are benevolent, who can seem to people like the same kind of thing, but we're not. There is a difference. It's hard with the narcissists because they're charming, and a lot of Aspies, the actor Aspie type, learn to be very charming. It doesn't mean we're sinister, and it doesn't mean we actually have narcissistic motives. We don't, even though we might seem like we do. You know, it's hard to separate the wheat from the chaff, but it can be done. If you look deeper into someone's soul, if you really look into someone's eyes, well, you can tell because the biggest difference between like the Aspie and the narcissist is that the narcissist knows how to make really good eye contact. The Aspie can fake good eye contact, but will look away and have this sort of secret bashfulness, even if it's very, very slight. And they'll seem sensitive and kind, even if they're trying to put on a tough front, like all actor types do, whether they're narcissistic actors or Aspie actors. They put on a tough front, but underneath that tough front, the Aspie is sensitive. You can tell the difference. I can. Unfortunately, narcissists are the people that get away with lying, and the Aspies are the ones that are accused of being narcissistic because we're not as good at the acting. We're a little rough around the edges. We're a little awkward in a lot of times. Or we're so slightly awkward that we seem smooth and a little awkward in it, and that seems like narcissistic. So, the most honest people might seem dishonest, but they're really, really not. Think about it. Think about it. Just think about it. If you can wrap your brain around it.